Hola amigos, hola amigas, welcome, bienvenido, croeso y salam, welcome to the channel y'all, Cheshniak Shimash. Today we have got you another example of a lovely little Vanguards, Corgi Vanguards of the Morris Marina in Glacial White. Let's open the box. At least these ones are nice and easy to undo. There we have the information. I will just take that out. Remove the car from the packaging. There we go. What a lovely little model. What a lovely example. It's even got the brown interior, if you can't really see it, that matches for its ear. And this is the Morris Marina, like I said, in Glacial White. Let's pop it there. So I got the Morris Marina here information card. 1972 registration, Morris Marina. So here we have, this is to certify that this is a limited edition and is number 3741 of only 5,100 distributed worldwide. Of the little Vanguards. There we go. Isn't that cute? I like them. I'm just going to give this a little bit of a wipe over with an alcohol wipe and I'll be back. So you may be wondering why I picked the Morris Marina. And I picked it because I and so many other people just think of it, what we've been told, as being the worst car ever made by British Leyland. It was apparently a complete and utter rust bucket, badly made with old technology, and just strikes me as such a funny car because I really do like it. I like the look of it. It's very of the time. It's very dated of the 70s. And I remember seeing lots of them on the road for a long time, but they were all bangers. I don't think I ever saw one in this kind of condition. Unless you look at a British Leyland advert on TV for it or something. But they just have this reputation for being absolutely awful cars. So what I wanted to do, I've watched lots of people have them, other YouTubers who've made videos on the real car. So what I wanted to do was just have a look and see what is found online and make my own assumption about the Morris Marina. The Morris Marina is a front-engined, rear-wheel drive, small family car that was manufactured by the Austin Morris division of British Leyland from 1971 until 1980. It served to replace the Morris Minor in the Morris production line, which had first been built in 1948. The Marina was also sold in some markets as the Austin Marina, the Leyland Marina, and the Morris 1700. It was a popular car in Britain throughout its production life, beating its main rival, the Ford Escort, to second place in the UK car sales in 1973 and taking third or fourth place behind the Escort in other years. The car was exported throughout the world, including North America, and assembled in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa and Malaysia. A total of 1.2 million were built. According to various sources, the Marina ranks among the worst cars ever built. In 1980, the replacement for the Marina, the Ital, was the same car with only mild styling changes. It was only fully replaced by the Austin Maestro in 1983. British Leyland sold the Marina alongside the 1969 Austin Maxi, which shared the same market segment but used front-wheel drive and had a hatchback body, and the 1973 Austin Allegro, which used front-wheel drive and more adventurous styling. The Marina was developed under the AD028 code name. The impetus for its development came when Leyland Motors merged with British Motor Holdings, BMH, in 1968, thus forming British Leyland. BMH was the corporate parent of the two biggest car manufacturers in the UK, Austin and Morris. The new BL management, made largely from ex-Leyland Motor staff, was shocked to learn that apart from the Austin Maxi, then entering the final stages of development, and a tentative design for a replacement for the Mini, BMH had no new cars under development. The company's products aimed at the mass market consisted of the Morris Minor, dating from 1948, and the 1100-1300 range of mid-size Austin and Morris saloons that were a decade old. BL rapidly implemented a plan to develop a replacement for both the Minor and the smaller Farina models that could be produced as quickly as possible and would be on sale for no more than 5 years until a genuinely all-new product could be launched in its place. The Marina would use a conventional rear-wheel drive, live rear axle drivetrain as found on other popular mass-market cars such as the Ford Escort and Vauxhall Viva. This strategy was also intended to improve sales in BL's export markets. Commonwealth markets such as South Africa, Australia and New Zealand were large buyers of BL products, but the innovative BMC cars were considered too fragile and complex for use in such countries, as well as being fitted exclusively with small, low-powered engines. As a result, the Marina was an adventurous but simple making use of existing BMC components derived from the Morris Minor and MGB, as well as using mainly Triumph Dolomite transmission and running gear from the former Leyland side of the organisation. The car was designed by Roy Haynes, the same man who designed the Ford Cortina Mark II, launched in 1966, with which it shares some stylistic similarities. Lacking the budget to develop two cars to compete directly with the Escort and the Cortina, the makers sized the AD028 between the two benchmark Ford models. Haynes' original idea was to produce the car in coupe and saloon versions, with the coupe pitched as a premium sporting version in a similar mold to the Ford Capri, a popular coupe based on Cortina running gear, to appeal to younger buyers, while the saloon was for the crucial company car market and families. Haynes also attempted to put forward a system that many manufacturers now use, a common floor pan shared between models. The Marina was the first car design that used this idea. Although this idea carried great potential benefits for a company selling cars under numerous different brands across multiple market sectors, it was looked on as too radical by the management of British Leyland, and Triumph designer Harry Webster was drafted in to push the project forward. Roy Haynes soon left the company. The British Leyland board decided to build the Marina at the ex-Morris motor plants in Cowley in Oxford, which was largely still as it was in the 1920s. The Marina was originally designed to use the E-Series overhead cam BMC engines. These engines had a number of design problems. A modular engine design, the E-Series had standalone bores, with capacity increased by using either more cylinders or larger strokes. However, small capacity sixes fell out of favour as post-war Britain became increasingly affluent. To increase capacity, British Leyland preferred increasing stroke, which added little to the cost of production. This resulted in a tall engine. It was not possible to slant the engine because of the location of the fuel pump. Furthermore, the engine had to be Siamesed, that is, the water jacket was shared between pairs of cylinders. These factors contributed to overheating and oil burning in the Austin Maxi, and so the board decided to adopt the more reliable A and B series engines for indigenous production. Australia and South Africa continued with the E series. However, the body had already been designed, so the Marina was forever cursed with a nappy-full rear-end styling, needed to even the lines between the necessarily bloated front and the rear. As a further cost-cutting measure, the coupe version of the Marina would now use the same front doors as the saloon version. This produced significant cost savings in tooling and assembly. This made it impossible to pitch the coupe as a superior product, and so it was decided that the two-door coupe version of the Marina would be the cheaper of the two body styles, with the 1.3-litre model directly replacing the entry-level two-door version of the Morris Minor and competing with the two-door saloon versions of the Ford Escort and the Hillman Avenger. The new car was launched on the domestic market on the 27th of April 1971, with a night shift added at the Cowley plant in May 1971. At that time, the manufacturers reported they were producing 2,000 cars per week. projected over-optimistically to increase this to 5,000 cars per week by the end of 1971. Nevertheless, 11 months after launch on the 29th of March 1972, the 100,000th Marina, a 1.8 TC version, emerged from the Cowley plant, and by February 1973, the company was able to announce that 250,000 Marinas had already been built in less than 2 years. The Marina continued in production from 1971 to 1980, when it was replaced by the Morris Ital, an updated version of the Marina, which continued in production until 1984, when the Morris mark was axed and the Austin badge featured on the Montego that replaced it, signalling the end of the Morris brand after more than 70 years. In Australia and South Africa, it was known as the Leyland Marina, in New Zealand as the Morris 1.7, for 1979 to 1981 in face-lifted O series form, and in North America as the Austin Marina. The car was popular with families and undemanding car buyers, and was available in the typical BL colours of the day: russet brown, harvest gold, lime flower green, midnight blue, teal blue, blaze orange, damask red, and the characteristically 1970s purple called black tulip. It was intended to compete with the generally similar Ford Cortina and to some extent the smaller Escort, the Vauxhall Viva and later the larger Cavalier, as well as the Hillman Avenger and Hunter from Chrysler UK. It shared its basic styling with all these cars, adopting a supposedly transatlantic look that took elements of car styling from contemporary American cars, especially the front-end treatment in the Marina's case, and offered them a scale acceptable to the European market. As with its mechanics, the Marina was not intended to be visually innovative or particularly interesting. There were changes, however, albeit small ones. A facelift in 1975 gave the Marina new radiator grills, dashboard, seats, suspension modifications, and increased soundproofing. In May 1977, Marinas started to appear at dealers equipped with Allegro-style seats. This was said to make the Marina seating more comfortable and supportive. The Marina's public life did not get off to a good start. The rushed final stages of design and production, especially in regard to the suspension, meant that many of the press fleet cars had an incorrect front suspension setup, whereby there was no camber change when the car rolled, which in turn produced almost heroic levels of understeering. Autocar reported that the car they were driving ended up on the wrong side of the road when taking a sharp corner. This was a particular problem with the more powerful 1.8 and 1.8 TC cars, which were unfortunately the models the press were most likely to test. More comprehensive suspension changes were made with the Mark II's introduction in 1975, which added anti-roll bars that calmed the earlier car's wayward tendencies. In 1982, the Ital changed its Marina-derived front lever arm shock absorbers for telescopic ones. Despite heavy criticism from the media and motoring press, the car's lack of technical sophistication let it be keenly priced. The Morris Marina was a very popular car in Britain and was among the country's best sellers throughout its production life, peaking at second place in 1973, only surpassed by the Ford Cortina. In many ways, the car fulfilled its design goal of being an unpretentious, high-volume, mass-market car for the average income families and business people. Marina production lasted almost 10 years, and in that time, no fewer than 807,000 were sold across Britain, though it was less popular on export markets. By the time production of the facelifted Ital version ceased production in 1984, total Marina Ital production topped 1.2 million, making it BL's second biggest seller after the Mini. In fact, of all the post-rider report models that BL and its successors produced, only the Austin Metro would surpass the Marina's sales. Even when Marina production ended in 1980, a modified version of it survived until 1984 as the Ital. British Leyland had been working on an all-new replacement for the Marina by 1980, but it was too early in the development stages to enter production, with production not beginning until early 1984 when the new car, called the Austin Montego, was launched. Over the years, it has frequently been described by journalists, authors and motoring critics as one of the worst cars of all time. The relaunching of the then decade-old design as the Morris Ital only added to the image of an outdated, outclassed and poor-performing vehicle. A survey conducted by Auto Express magazine in August 2006 reported that 745 of the 807,000 Marinas sold in Britain were still on the road. Fewer than 1 of every 1,000 sold, making it the most scrapped car sold in Britain over the previous 30 years. The low survival rate is due to a combination of factors, chief amongst which is the Marina's poor rust proofing. Like other family saloon cars of the period, the Marina did not gain the status of a classic car, whilst large numbers were still in good enough condition to encourage preservation. In February 2016, it was reported that the number of Marinas still on Britain's roads was 295, although this figure does not count examples which are sawn. As of December 2019, there are currently 374 Marinas on the road in Britain, with a further 498 currently sawn. So there we go, guys, another truly horrible car from British Leyland. But I don't know, there's something about those British Leyland cars that just, I don't know, I really like them. There's something about them, and I would, if I could go back in time with a blank check, I would buy all of them and keep them in mint condition. There are many of these in mint condition being restored and saved. And if you check out many of the car channels, the UK YouTube car channels, you will see them on there. And regardless of what Top Gear said about dropping a piano on every single one of them when they came on the show, I really do think that they are a part of the history of the UK and their terrible design. It's no wonder British cars aren't made anymore. But there we go. I hope you've enjoyed. It's been fun doing the video on this, and I can't wait to get it in the collection with the other cars. So I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.